Welcome into Chasing Greatness with Jacob Phillips. It's our inside look at the DBU cross country team, where we're joined with Jacob Phillips, head cross country coach, Anastasia Tronicek, Isaac Pendley. Patriots are a month into the season, already 4 races under their belt. You won last time out, the Hill Cross Country Classic down in Hillsboro, Texas. Looking back at that race 2 weeks ago, what stood out to you about both teams?
Yeah, we wanted to use that as an opportunity to just kind of get a good effort in without emptying the tank. You know, we talked a couple weeks ago with you about how long that season is, and we want to be good when it matters. And so it just provided us a local race. Parents could come out and watch, fans could come out and watch, and we could just pack it up, work hard, run together, hopefully come out fully healthy and get ready for, we got some big races coming up.
You brought 2 of your top runners and leaders on this program. I want to talk with you about Anastasia first. A freshman last year coming in from Germany, has made huge strides this year.
Right.
What have you seen in her development?
She's like 80, 90 seconds faster over 5K than she was a year ago. We have a young team, and so it was really important for our returning group to really take the summer serious, really take training serious, and take ownership. We lost some leaders to graduation, and it's super cool. Anastasia went home this summer and just went to work. Things that like she struggled with a year ago are now easy. And maybe it's not easy, but it looks easy, right? And it's been just really cool, just because one of the things we've always talked about with her is like she's so coachable, and she does things so well. But then it's like, okay, at some point that's gonna translate to your races, and that's what we're seeing now. She's always worked hard, but now it's like translating to her races. She started to believe a little bit, which has been really cool to see.
You have such a unique story, coming from Germany, arriving here last year as a freshman. One, how did DBU land on your radar? And then what is the adjustment be? I can only imagine. We're learning a new language, coming to the States. How far have you come now in your second year here?
Yeah, I think what made me decide to go to DBU was the video calls with Coach Phillips. I think we had like 3 video calls, and after that I was like, okay, I'm coming. Because he just told me everything about the team culture that we have, and everything else about DBU. And we hung up, and I was fired up. I was fired up to run. So that made the decision pretty easy. And then I got here, and it was not as easy as expected. I was really homesick in the beginning. I think I covered it pretty good until we had one indoor race, and then I had a breakdown in front of him and cried right before my race.
Yeah.
Told him I just miss my family, and it helped me to talk about that. And I just needed some time, just to give it some time. And then I found friends and family on the team, and that really made it a lot better.
What an amazing story, to see how far she's come this year. Only a sophomore. Excited to see what you're going to do in the course of your career. For Isaac, I'm going to talk with you just about his leadership. Here's a senior on this team. It's a young squad. You've got 16 freshmen. You've got a strong senior class, but particularly about Isaac and his leadership. What does he bring to the table?
Yeah, I think the cool part with Isaac is its consistency, right? Like, and we talked this summer, and this is his words. He says, I want to show our team quiet confidence. You don't always have to talk. It's quiet confidence, and that's who he is. I mean, like every single day he's joyful at practice. He's excited at practice. Like even if he shows up in a bad mood, you don't know that, right? He's always uplifting his teammates, encouraging. And the cool thing is he's a guy that gets better as the season goes along. So the guys are seeing him show up every day, work hard with a great attitude, and he's pretty fast, right? So we talked about this morning, before our workout. It's like, hey, Isaac, Noah, these senior guys, like we've been working hard for this. Let's get some reward this year, because it's 4 years of work that they've been putting in. So, but yeah, he's just consistent, quiet confidence is how I would describe Isaac.
Yeah, Isaac, for you, in terms of just your faith, how does that drive that? Where does that come from? And then how do you lead out, especially with the young squad that you're working with?
Yeah, for sure. Faith is a huge part of just me and my running. Even coming into college, a big part of my choice to come to college and run was the idea of stewarding your talents and things like that. And I wanted to see how far I could go with it. And so that's kind of what led me into it. And so throughout college, just my faith in doing everything that I do. I mean, he talks about me being joyful. I'm trying. It's not the easiest. And some mornings when you wake up and you're tired and you don't want to go do a hard workout, but at least just trying to be joyful and thankful and not take things for granted has just been a huge way the Lord has taught me through it all. And it's made running so much fun. Whenever you can really enjoy it and realize that this time I have is only a short period of time. And so I think that's affected the way that I interact with my teammates and things like that as well. Just because, man, I want to be an example of Christ to them. I want to be an example of someone that's consistent, and then also like the quiet confidence. It's easy to be loud and be confident, and sometimes it can come off in the wrong way. And so I don't want to be someone that's cocky. Instead, I'd rather go prove it with my legs out when I'm racing, and be quiet and consistent when I'm running day by day in practice. And so I think that's something the Lord's taught me, and continually He's teaching me just to be selfless and to love my teammates like He would want me to, and push them further and what that looks like. And I'm not perfect in it by any means, but He's taught me so much. Each year I've grown to love it more and more because the Lord's grown me in it.
And these two both, I mean, like they are, like Anastasia is the cheerleader of practice. Like they are like hammering a hard hill rep, and she's like, "We've got this. I mean, the whole time. Isaac's the guy. Keep your heads up. Let's keep going. Like we got this, guys." And so it's really cool to see both of them have grown into that, where they are consistent in quiet confidence, but also they're encouragers, big time.
I've got a feeling that's been a thread of what this program has been through the years. That's not just started here. I mean, you look back at years past and runners that you've had. You've taken 8 teams to national championships during your time here. Talk to us about that, just in terms of what makes this program year after year, the comments that you hear from both of them, because that's something that I get the feeling that it's just a part of the program that's what's ingrained.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, like, we talk about the group hunt mentality. We do everything together. Like when we go run easy, they run together. We really focus on the team, and I don't care how fast you are, how good you are. Ultimately, like it's about the team here. And, and that's the thread. And when that's the case, Anastasia knows, okay, if I focus on myself in this workout, it's going to be tough. I'm going to focus on being a great teammate. Isaac's the same way. If I focus on myself in this workout, I might drop out, right? But if I focus on helping my teammates, then all of a sudden, it's something bigger than me. And I think that's the thread. We talk about the great teammates and the hard work, and the great teammates, it's about the team. And we talk about team goals. We talk about team race strategy. We're not trying to put someone on the pedestal and say, well, they can do that. No, we want to win as a team. We want to run well as a team. And our practices reflect that. Our weight room sessions reflect that. I mean, everything we do, I think, reflects that.
Patriots are getting ready to host the Old Glory Gallop. This has turned into one of the premier events in the country at any level, Division I, Division II. You're going to have, I think, over 800 runners on both sides. This week, you're going to run at a new course there in Fort Worth. But take us to the vision of this. How did it come about just 4 years ago, and where is it now?
We drove 11 hours to Alabama, Huntsville. Couldn't find hotels. Stayed in some pretty questionable Airbnbs, and came back from that and said, we're in the Metroplex. Why are we not hosting a premier event? We have a good program, a good cross-country program, and it really has grown into that. I mean, like it was 18 teams the first year, and it was like 30 teams, and then last year we peaked at 50 plus teams. We'll have 50 plus teams again this year per gender, and it's the largest collegiate cross-country meet in the state of Texas. It's by far the best college cross-country meet in the state of Texas with the production that we put in behind it. In the competition, and it's one of the best in the country. I would say it's probably, especially at the Division II, it's probably a top 3 or 4 meet totally in terms of the entire country. We have teams from Canada, Colorado, California, Kansas, Arkansas. I mean, all over, and so Oregon. I mean, it's just it's a huge national caliber event, and it's a great show. I mean, it's awesome.
Isaac, 2 of your best races, in fact, your last 2 personal records have been at the Old Glory Gallop. So I can imagine you're excited for Saturday. What does the mental preparation look like right now leading up to the race, and what does a strategy become like for you in this race?
To be honest, one of the biggest things that I've learned is not to stress a bunch the week before the race, because it's something we practice every day. We practice running hard every day. And so whenever I go out there and race, it's just doing the same thing that I've done every day, maybe a lot faster, but and on a higher level when you're competing. But I found out the more that I would stress myself out during the week and think a whole bunch about the race, it would be something that I would end up being disappointed once I got there, because I'd stressed so much about it. And so I think the biggest thing for me is being able to lock in and think about racing and follow the plan that Coach has. He sent us our plans yesterday, and I looked at the plan and I got chills because I was so excited of getting to go race this race that I've done well at the past 2 years. And so practice visualizing that throughout the week, but also not stressing so much about it and putting so much pressure on myself about it. Because whenever I can go out there and just run free and run for the team and run for the Lord, like in the end, like it's all for the glory of the Lord, I do so much better than whenever I put so much stress on it. And so there's a balance that I've learned of, and I'm still learning it as well. But thinking about the race and visualizing it and following the plan that coach gives us, but also not stressing so much, because there's no reason to stress all week long about this race that's coming up, but instead just to be ready for it and be ready and be confident in myself too, because we put in so much training over the summer and over the season so far. And so I can go into it being confident that I can go out there and race with the top guys and I can race well. But I just have to believe in myself in that and do it with my team, because it's so much more fun when you do it with your team. You can do so much better in that.
It's going to be exciting on Saturday. I'm excited to see you as well, Anastasia. And Coach talked about a 90-second jump that you made in the 5K, the training that he talked about over the summer when you went home. Take us through just the development, where you were freshman to where you are now, and what becomes your strategy Saturday.
I think it was not really that I changed my strategy. I just stayed patient and just stick to the plan, and I just did what coach assigned. And then I tried to really focus on the summer to just have a good base for this season. And I was hoping, I didn't know that I was hoping that it would pay off eventually, and it starts to show that now. So I hope that I can keep doing that.
Yeah, it's going to be a great time on Saturday, debut in the Old Glory Gallop. Coach Phillips, for you, you're only 2 weeks away from Lone Star Conference Championships. What do you hope to see for the team as you kind of start ramping up and getting closer towards your postseason run?
Yeah, right. I mean, if these athletes want to go to nationals, we have to run well this weekend, and that's not pressure. It's just part of the game, and you've got to qualify, and so we want to run well this weekend. Take another step forward. Each trip, each race we've had this year, we've taken a step forward, and then we want to get to conference and compete. Last year the guys didn't get what they wanted to get, and so we've been fired up about that, and so we want to bounce back from there. And ladies obviously have a long tradition of, a bad day is second place usually, and so we want to keep showing up. But I think just if we can just keep getting better week to week, taking that step forward, and then when we get to regionals in about 6 weeks, I guess that's in about a month now, we'll give ourselves a chance to make it to nationals.
You can catch the Patriots in action in Fort Worth, the DVU Old Glory Gallop, and then 2 weeks away from Lone Star Conference Championship. So for Chasing Greatness with Jacob Phillips, Anastasia Tronicek, and Isaac Pendley, I'm Reagan Rack.